The compact luxury crossover descriptor is hardly vivid enough for Land Rover's Range Rover Velar. The SUV is on the large side of that class and looks it. Measuring just shy of the mid-size Range Rover Sport in every dimension, the Velar's outsized luxuriousness and sleek style further elevate its station above stater and smaller sales chasers such as Audi's Q5 and the BMW X3. High's daring styling inside and out, usable cargo hold, good cabin space, lows sometimes unpredictable responses from the touchscreens, gruff engine, firm ride. Just don't call the Velar fat. Although it is heavy at 4,676 pounds, it's more big-boned, literally. Underneath its sleeker, low-roof take on Range Rover's signature rectilinear styling sits the same plus-size architecture that underpins Jaguar's F-Base. However, Land Rover tunes most of the Jag's athleticism out of the chassis, although we're okay with that, particularly on a luxury-minded SUV. Still, the Velar's ride could be softened just a smidge further to match the handling's relaxed vibe. Engine trio. There are 3 engine choices, none of which stands out as a runaway must-have. Base models use a 247 horsepower turbocharged inline-4 and carry the P380 moniker, denoting their 250-ish horsepower and P for petrol, gasoline, appetite. We have yet to test a P350, but we've driven one and it doesn't move the Velar with much verve. A 180 horsepower turbo diesel 4-cylinder that flies under the D180 banner is optional, and it is even more sluggish than the P350. Finally, there is the 380 horsepower supercharged gasoline V6 tested here, which gets the designation P380, although the 6 is used in other Jaguar Land Rover products. In the Velar it lacks the sweet exhaust note it exhibits in other JLR applications. And while much of the tire, wind, and suspension noises don't enter the cabin, the V6's unrefined sounds manage to penetrate its firewall. A full throttle run to highway speeds whips up a great din from the engine, and you'll get the sense that even this range-topping V6 and its attendant 8-speed automatic transmission labor to move the hefty SUV. Indeed, the Velar, at 7 seconds to 60 miles per hour, is a significant 0.6 seconds slower than its mechanical twin, the Jaguar F-Base S. This Range Rover also returned a disappointing 17 miles per gallon overall during our test. Wow factor. We suggest embracing the Velar's relaxed driving demeanor while spending time admiring the stunning interior, modern and well-appointed. The cabin is assembled from high-quality materials combined and executed in novel ways. Take, for example, the door trim, which is available in typical materials such as wood or aluminum but is incorporated in the recessed part of the door panels alongside the elbow rests. Even with all that, the rest of the interior is outshined in wow factor by Land Rover's all-new dual-display infotainment system. In Control Touch Pro Duo, the system vanishes nearly every major physical button in the cabin save for the headlight switch, the transmission's rotary knob gear selector, and the window switches. Visually, this is a coup. The 2 glossy 10-inch touchscreens, which are augmented by the Velar's standard digital gauge cluster, look incredible. The upper screen primarily handles audio, navigation, and settings functions, while the lower display swaps between climate controls and driving mode settings. It's all stunning to behold, but a dark shadow of confusion draws over the displays when it comes to their boggling configurability. For some reason, one can set the 2 displays in the gauge cluster to show current audio information or a phone menu simultaneously. Alternatively, one can pull up a navigation map on the upper central screen and in one of 4 locations in the gauge cluster, left of a central tachometer, right of that tachometer, centralized between the tachometer and speedometer, or full width across the entire display. Those 4 spaces also can play host to audio, phone, and other menus. With time, owners will likely grow used to the menus or simply set, or have the dealer adjust them to their liking and never mess with them again. Ditto the multifunction rotary knobs embedded in the lower screen, which, depending on what menu the lower screen is set to, can conceivably alter each front seat climate zone's temperature, fan speed, seat heat or ventilation levels, and, driver's side only, choose from among the Velar's 6 driving modes. Jumping from one adjustment to the other requires more button presses than seems necessary. Want to adjust the heated seat while the driving mode menu is active? Tap the shortcut tab at the top of the screen to jump back into the climate menu. Then press the rotary dial to switch it to seat heat adjustment. You'll probably want to do this while the car is stopped. Worse than the screen's ergonomic flaws are their occasionally slow and inconsistent responses to touch inputs. This is a criticism we previously leveled at various JLR infotainment systems. Model handsome. Perhaps the Velar's greatest trick is that it doesn't sacrifice practicality on the altar of style. Although the interior isn't as cavernous as the Velar's exterior dimensions suggest, it is useful and roomy, thanks in part to the ample rear overhang. There is a class-leading 34 cubic feet of cargo space behind the second row seats, and Land Rover even cleverly installs a switch in the cargo area for lowering the air suspension, on models so equipped, helping to mitigate the Velar's somewhat high lift-over height. Infotainment teething issues aside, the Velar is successful at its mission of feeling like a true luxury good. It's a comfortable, attractive thing that looks expensive, and it can really nail that last bit, especially the P380 version. Step up the trim level ladder to our test car's R-Dynamic HSE spec, and you're facing a $78.095 bill before adding any options. That's a long way from the base $50.895 Velar P250, not to mention the $65.195 Velar P380, the cheapest way to get the V6. Of course, our test vehicle carried a few options on top of the R-Dynamic HSE trim, $11,565 worth, including a $3,060, 1,600 watt Meridian audio system, and $1,125 locking rear differential, the $1,380 extended leather package, $870 for 4-zone automatic climate control, and a $580 on/off-road package with off-road specific driving modes. The rest of the cost was tied up in nicer floor mats, ambient interior lighting, an R-Dynamic black exterior trim package, a heated windshield, and other assorted knickknacks. Nix some of those knacks, and you'll get the same high style for slightly less.